He's Kevin Costner, actor, Academy Award-winning director, producer, musician, and here to talk about Season 2 of Yellowstone, cable's most-watched new series, debuts on Paramount Network. That'll be coming up the 19th of this month at 10 Eastern and Pacific. Good to see you again. How's life?
Everything's good. Pretty good.
When's the last time you got excited about a sporting event?
I was really excited to see how this was going to play out with the Raptors. I mean, when I see slow motion footage and it's all been narrated, throughout the years, I've actually watched those games. So when I watch that stuff, I make a point to see these games that are kind of pivotal. And since I was probably, I think the first time I said I need to go see this game was when OJ was in the preseason going to play against the Jets against Namath. And I really wanted to see that matchup. And it was, you'd only see one game a week. And that was a preseason game.
Yeah.
So everything that from the Super Bowls, everything from the Final Fours, everything from I make it a point to really, really try to see that wherever I'm at.
But also, we look at Hollywood tries to capture what happens in real life with sporting events.
Yeah.
Like, Miracle on Ice, you couldn't have written it, or it doesn't play out that way. But Spike Lee said, the truth is always better than, the make-believe.
Yeah, it's the same thing. And like I remember when I made Untouchables, and I'm doing this one scene, I remember De Palma comes in and goes, "What are you doing? What is it you're doing?" And I said, what do you mean, what am I doing? You're always reloading. And I said, yeah. I said, you know what? There's more drama in reloading. I said, there's a lot of strategy that goes when a guy runs out of bullets. I said, when the gun never stops, I've never believed it. I said, so, to Spike's point, the reality of you only got 6, you figure out how to use them. Or if you don't, you figure out how to get loaded and you do your dialogue as you're loading. So it was I kind of believe that the truth is just as entertaining as the lie.
But you had to reload in the train station.
No, I counted him out. That drove him crazy too. Because he's doing it in slow motion. I remember him going, I said, okay, so this guy's here. So I got 5 because I've taken the plug out. In a shotgun, it's normally 3, but if you take the plug out, which is illegal, you got 5. So De Palma's going, God. And it's like, but I made it work. So he did his thing in slow motion. I said, I'm doing it in real life. And I said, people appreciate a survival instinct. When guys, a lot of people think I make movies and there's great women characters in it. So the idea is, oh, well, you make movies that women like. And it's not true. What I do is I make movies for men. I make sure that I'm kind of doing what I think. When I do something, I hope that some man watching that goes, I get that. I get that Billy Chappell's sobbing in that hotel by himself with nobody there to see his perfect game when his parents saw every Little League game, everything. And so you don't have your girl, you don't have your woman.
Well, Bull Durham is a love story, but guys see it as a baseball
Exactly.
movie.
So for me, what I insist on is having great women in the movies, great parts for that. But I don't do, I always feel like I got to pass the guy test.
I was also wondering about this, knowing that you were going to be on, that imagine if acting was one take, because sports is live.
Right.
Like Broadway's as close as we have to an athletic performance, right?
Right.
How would performances be different?
They'd be pretty different because you'd have a lot of glitches. You'd really need an editor. Because I'll tell you, the difference is that when you do theater, you rehearse for 2 or 3 months. The state of movies has gotten to where you show up and you're hitting your marks. People don't rehearse anymore; they block. And I don't want to exclude some directors because some directors still believe in that process that you farm the material and the movie will be subtly a lot better. But it's like a long lost art giving actors rehearsal. On the 2 movies that I've directed, the 3 movies I've directed, we had 2 weeks of rehearsal. And when I was first introduced to the movie in The Big Chill, Lawrence Kasdan had 30 days, had a month where the cast was just together. And, those are the foundations that I like. A lot of people like the red carpet. I happen to like the process. I'm not immune to, wanting to go and all my friends to the red carpet. But I always, it'd be, I guess, like drawing a play that works. A play that you thought about and you get into a critical moment and you go, let's do that play. and it works. And that's the satisfaction I get, from acting. That's not the one kind of thing I normally explain to anybody. But I still get a thrill out of discovering something in a rehearsal. Everybody goes, well, what about the movie? I just feel like I earn my dough when I find something.
But has the first take made it into a movie?
Oh, yeah. I mean, sometimes the light's going and somebody looks at you and they go, I look at somebody, I go, this really important scene and we're doing it right now. This is how, and you go, and you do it. So yeah, first take.
One standout?
No, not really that I can think of. That's probably the 35 years of doing it. Nothing stands out anymore. It's a blur. It's like, But when
you say, let's have a catch.
I'll tell you one thing that happened.
Okay.
In JFK, I'm a real slow study. I'm slower than most actors. It takes me, I don't think I have some kind of learning disorder. It takes me a long time. I have to have a script for 20 days and just live with it. A lot of people think my acting's natural. I hope it comes off natural, but it's not for me. I struggle with getting the memory, getting to be able to perform and start to move. On JFK, I have this like 11-minute monologue thing that happens. I learned that entire script about a month before the movie ever shot. So I was like off book, as you say. I didn't have to do it. I remember Oliver said, okay, well, let's do the courtroom sequence. And so I started it and I went all the way through. And it was a day and we had the extras like there and they were there, and he comes to me and he says, you can do the whole thing? And I said, yeah, I can do the whole thing. He says, go back to your trailer, give me 45 minutes. I'm going to set up 6 cameras or 4 cameras or whatever. And the scene was scheduled to be
a long scene.
3 days. We were supposed to be in there 3 days. We were done at noon. And so that I can't say that was one take, but I did because he had his different cameras, I did 4 takes and
Pretty
we were
close.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you say let's have a catch, is that your terminology in Field of Dreams?
No, it's not mine. In fact, I had a hard time saying that. I used to say play catch.
Yeah, because I was wondering.
I have a catch as a kind of, I was told the director, the writer who doesn't, I get so much credit with Field of Dreams, but it was really Phil Robinson. But he's not really a sports guy. And he wrote a movie that none of you sports guys could possibly write. He wrote a speech for James Earl Jones that Mickey Mantle and all the great ones, they can't articulate what it is they love about the game. Not even you.
Yeah.
It took a kind of non-athlete and the Ray Kinsella character who writes this, he writes this speech that we just can't get out of our mind. Vin Scully, like a chalkboard, it's erased and it's everything that could and could be again. And Jesus, I just lost my place. Where are we? Where were we?
Can you have a catch?
Can you have a catch? And so that didn't come out of my mouth right.
Yeah, it does sound strange, but I think it's where you grew up.
It's a New York thing.
Okay.
And for me, it's like, let's play catch. Dad, Can we play catch? To have a catch. I struggled with that, believe it or not. I do 11-page monologue, and I go, I can't say this have a catch thing.
Season 2 of Yellowstone, cable's most watched new series. He's Kevin Costner. Where do you shoot Yellowstone?
We shoot it in 2 places, Park City and then the Bitterroot Valley, which is really significant to me because it's where Lewis and Clark went through. And, and I can't stop thinking about the history when I'm there because they did that something like 1803. And
did anybody ever do a Lewis and Clark movie?
There've been a couple stabs at it. One was started by HBO, and then for some reason they stopped. But it's not lost on me, when I'm making that series. When I look out at these mountains, and the truth of it is, I'm haunted by it, by the history of it. Because when Lewis and Clark did go through there, they were helped, and 70 years later, these settlers put up a fence, and these people who for thousands of years had been there, who would come through that valley to go out to the plains, hunt buffalo, and then work their way back after the summer, who had helped these people. 80 years later, they were gone. And that's where I'm working. And so it's beautiful. I look at it on my days off. I just, I feast on that kind of thing. I'm not that comfortable in the city.
You got a log cabin?
I got a cabin. Yeah.
You look like a log cabin guy.
Yeah, I got a little cabin. I got acreage. I got tractors. I love that. I'm actually not a very good craftsman. It's just I'll do it all day.
Can you fish?
Yeah.
Hunt?
Yeah. I have bird dogs and
You do the whole thing.
yeah, I do the whole
You go
thing.
camo?
I used to get sent home in sixth grade. I used to like kill these animals, these rabbits. I would take these skins to school. I wanted to sell them because I remember seeing in the movies how Indians tied them up, and stretched them out. And I said, I'm going to go sell my pelts. And I would get these notes and go, he cannot bring the to school, and I was like, I was looking for some kind of exchange, I wanted commerce in my life, and you go, you can't do it. I was inducted to the Cowboy Hall of Fame about a month and a half ago. There's a speech. It's called the American Heritage Awards. Used to be the Cowboy Hall of Fame in Oklahoma, and what do I say? Because they wanted to know about my interest in the West, and I really didn't know. I hope you see the speech, but I basically I never got past being 7 years old in the speech. The whole speech was about leading up to that. But I remember in my kindergarten class, because they go, well, how do you go to being this kind of loving this? Because I do Westerns. And I said, well, I remember kindergarten in Compton, California, where I lived. And, kindergarten, okay, my brother was 5 years older than me. Sharing day. What's sharing day? You bring your best stuff, sharing day. That's what you bring. And so I did. And I brought my dad's 30-30.
Oh, no.
And I walked to school. I brought my dad's 30-30 to the kindergarten class, knew that I had the best stuff.
Wait,
mine was way better than anybody else's
shit. Is that a
shit.
shotgun or a rifle?
No, that's a rifle.
Okay.
And I actually use it in Yellowstone, the same rifle my dad.
Wait, so you got it over your shoulder and you're taking it to school?
It was way too heavy for him. I'm like 5 years old. So I bring it, and so what happens? They take the gun, they put a note on my chest because I don't know how to read yet, and that note goes home with me, and I'm thinking, I'm never walking home with a piece of paper on me again because it completely sold me down the river. My parents go, he said, you took that gun out of Dad's closet? It's like, it was the best stuff. You should have seen the other that the kids had. Nothing. Not compared to what
yeah. Your greatest athletic achievement is what?
Well, my greatest one was a fly ball that on Love of the Game. I'd been working in Yankee Stadium for about 18 days, and I was really good to the extras. I was really good. I'd throw them balls. I'd hit fungo up the butt because we moved them. We'd move them all over the place. And on the last day, I was a little bit hyped up because I had to take some pills to be pretty juiced up. I really did. I was like, I'd been throwing 200 pitches a day.
Wait, you're taking amphetamines?
Yeah, whatever it was. I said, I'm not going to get through this. Because the last day we decided to, I'm not sure what it was, but the last day we shot 6 hours. We started that in the day, and that game ends at night. And we'd already established where all the hits went for the game. So and we put the cameras exactly where they went in a normal televised game. So we would have that coverage. And into the evening, the fans, the 3,000 or 4,000 fans were right behind the third base dugout. A big fly ball goes up, and I just instinctively start running for it. Nobody else moves because it's not going to tie into the thing. And I already find myself across the line and right there, and it's like, I catch the ball or something like that or whatever. So I walk back, and I throw it again. No, I know what happens. The fly went there. I catch it. I look at everybody. I toss. I just hold the ball and I start to walk back because I'm a little juiced up anyway. I just about and they're all the Yankee fans at this point. And I'm just about to walk back to the mound, and somebody said something derogatory toward me, and I stopped. And the guy who gave me the pills at one point said, you're gonna growl at somebody at some point because of real whatever. And I didn't, and it bugged me because 18 days of treating him good. And I walked back, and now the 3,000 got really quiet. And I said, and everybody looked at me. Nobody said a word. And then I turned around to go back to the mound. And as soon as I started to go back to the mound, they're going like, Billy Chapo, you suck. And then New York turned on me, man. These 3,000 extras, they turned on me. Now I'm walking around and I go, why did you do that, Kevin? After 18 days, why did you do that? I get to the mound and guess what? This is my greatest feat. Another fly ball goes up there, but now it's a major league pop-up. And nobody moves again, and I realize I ran over there again. I think I'm juiced up. And now I'm in front of them, and the ball's coming down. I'm thinking, oh, and they're going, you suck, Billy. And they really hate me. You suck, Billy. And I'm thinking, oh, Jesus. And I go, catch it behind your back. I go, I can't catch it behind my back. I haven't caught it behind my back for about 15 years. Catch it behind your back. Now, if I catch it behind, they'll kill me. That thing you do in about 3 seconds, I finally go, tough shit. I put the glove behind my back, and the ball went in, and they're like really quiet, and I'm looking at them, and all 3,000 turned to the one guy who said the derogatory thing, go, you suck, that's Billy Chapo. You suck, that's Billy Chapo. Yeah, Billy Chapo. And I realized they could have just killed me, humiliated but I had this internal dialogue that had to happen in a second, but it felt like a lifetime. So I walked back to the mound, and they were back on my side.
All right, the Danettes I said that they could have one question. Who wants to be the spokesperson there?
Did any of your parents say, you guys aren't going to be nothing, what are you going to do? And I look at you guys, and it feels like 6th grade, and it's so perfect, and you got this job, and you come here. I love it.
You get paid to talk sports and hang out, and
yeah, it's a good gig. Yes, yes, McLovin.
I probably have the worst question if you want me to go first.
Oh, okay. I'm going to give you guys 2 questions.
No, let's go. What's it?
Okay.
Okay, go McLovin.
In the movie Draft Day, you played Sonny Weaver.
In the Draft Day, yeah.
Yes. You drafted a running back at number 6 overall. Do you really think you can win with a running back in today's NFL? You went full Saquon with the Browns.
God, you mean you really watch way too close and look, look, my big contribution there was you pancake eating mother, and I threw that line in because it was a throwback to hearing the guy eating pancakes, and I thought I have to echo that towards the end. Listen, we got as much logic as we could, just not enough for you.
Yeah, you're a stickler.
But I love making that. Kevin, I love making that movie. I did.
I would love to see you recreate your character for like a Funny or Die with Odell Beckham and Baker Mayfield, and make it seem like you're the GM of the Browns still.
Right.
And then you do something with them, almost like a hype video for the Browns season, where you have Odell Beckham and you have Baker Mayfield. I think that would be great.
Listen,
you got enough things to do.
I had a blast, just out there and playing and throwing the ball around, and it was a great movie. It was a nice extension of being able to do sports
and
movies.
A great co-star too. Paulie?
I watched Field of Dreams just again the other day. Everyone loves that movie. It's got a lot of legs. It's going to be around forever. But I was wondering, when you're getting pitched Field of Dreams, when they're pitching you're at your peak of stardom. Do you ever think, this could be really silly?
What, do you think I peaked? What are you talking about?
No, but like you were...
No, we can't do that. Yeah, we can't.
No offense.
I mean, you just okay, Paulie, you can't say that, and you can't say that, Kevin.
Did you see what he said to me?
He said you peaked.
Yeah, you said he peaked.
You misquoted me. You were
okay.
Wait, what did you say?
You just said you were.
So okay.
Don't you push me down?
Never, Mr. Coster. But did you ever think, when you got pitched the idea for Field of Dreams, this could be really silly? It turned out fantastic.
I can tell you exactly where I was when I read that movie. Dan and I were talking about it before we started to roll, and I apologize for humiliating you.
He just got the same treatment as that fan. That's Billy Kitchen.
You suck, Paulie. You suck.
Yeah,
you suck.
Billy Chapo.
That's Billy Chapo.
Yeah.
I apologize to the audience too. You can use that word if you just use it sparingly, and it's just like a sword.
I'm aware.
Anyway, I try to put the audience on my shoulder when I read something for the first time, because I got to make up my mind. I'm going to leave my family to make a movie. I'm just going to be out there. There's a lot of things that go through me. And then it's like, how are people in the dark going to feel if we pull this movie off? And I read that movie on the couch. And when I was done, I thought, this movie has a little gold dust on it. But it is going to be such a dangerous movie to make. And go, oh, how could this gentle movie be a dangerous movie to make? It's exactly to your point, which is I'm going to make you look like a genius. But the reality is that movie, the edge that it had to ride, because it had no car crash, it had no fight, it had no thing. It borderline goofy. It was just could be goofy, you know, all the way through. I mean, there's a couple scenes that they cut out. I think they're actually good scenes, but one where he goes in to check his hearing, and he's not crazy. The doctor's crazy. So it's like, you know, it's very funny stuff. Phil Robinson, who doesn't get enough credit, I think, it could have been goofy, and so you're right. That was as dangerous a movie as I made in a way, because it could have been dismissed. It's fluff. In fact, it was. You know, somebody described it in a big article about me one time during my peak. During my peak.
Wow.
That you know, they were liking what I was doing, and then Field of Dreams, this movie's probably going to get dismissed. I mean, it hadn't come out yet, because what's he doing over there? You know, doing 2 baseball movies in a row. But honestly, I thought it had. I thought it had something special, but I knew how dangerous it was in the sense that it could just borderline just be so damn silly. And I really tried to watch that as I was on the set every day.
The show is Yellowstone season 2.
Dan, apology accepted. I just want to say.
Cable's
That was a long apology from me.
Cable's most
Kind of
watched
like my movies. Huh?
new series debuts on Paramount Network. That'll be June 19th at 10 Eastern and Pacific. Great seeing you as always. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing your time.
Thank you, man.
He's Kevin Costner, who peaked during Field of Dreams. We're back after this on the Dan Patrick Show.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.